and then they'll have to go through the gate. Lindsay will be riding Beaudry in this finale, and she also owns the horse, the Bowie Van, who will be ridden by Franny Galvin Hines.
Very impressive. That was the last obstacle, right, Jonathan?
That was.
All right.
And so that was Here Comes Adri and Lindsay
no, wait
Partridge.
a minute. They still got to get back on, it looks like. That's part of the test, just like the field hunters.
Horse that will do the competitive trail finale course is Emil. Emil is 7 years old, a bay gelding, owned and ridden by Fulton, Missouri's Gretchen Panny, who was 5th in last year's field hunter competition with Chuck's Turn. Train half a dozen off the track thoroughbreds, and this horse, Emil, earned over $200,000 racing from 2012, raced as recently as April of this year at Hawthorne in Illinois. So you're looking at a horse who ran on the track as recently as April and has had only a few months of retraining, made 61 total starts. That is 8th most of any of the horses in this year's Thoroughbred Makeover, and earned $224,000, one of 23 horses in this competition that have earned over $200,000. Emil was bred in Illinois and raced almost all of the 61 races in his career in Illinois at Hawthorne or Arlington Park.
These are amazing exercises for these horses. If you watch what's going on with each one of them, the fact that they have so much to think about, so tuned into their riders. None of them are jigging around like some of the horses that were jumping. They're really, really focused.
It's incredible for this horse considering that he was racing at Hawthorne as recently as April. So 6 months ago, a racehorse, just a few months of retraining, and this is the byproduct of it.
You know, one of the things about the makeover for me, and I think a lot of us, is, you know, I come from one part of the horse world, eventing, and then you see these other sports, and you start to expand your ideas about what a horse can do and how a horse and a person can communicate. And then these riders get to try something new. They get to do two disciplines.
Right. That was Gretchen Panny from Fulton, Missouri, and Emil. Yeah, it's a horse that you could do a lot of different things with, really sticks to the task that the rider asks.
It is an outhouse. Who's next?
Next into the arena, from right here in Lexington, Kentucky, Stephanie Butler and Carey Street. Carey Street had a very successful racing career. Carey Street began racing in 2012 as a 3-year-old, bred here in Kentucky by Darley, associated with Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum of Dubai. Darley affiliated with the Godolphin stables that are the sponsors of this Thoroughbred Makeover. Carey Street raced 24 times from 2012 until last year. Won 6 races, including 2 stakes, winning one of the longest stakes races in the United States in 2014 at Santa Anita, and the Las Vegas Marathon on Breeders' Cup weekend. Won that by 9 1/4 lengths. That's a 1 3/4 race. So this horse really excelled in distance races. Also won the 1.5 Greenwood Cup Stakes at Parks in Pennsylvania in 2014. So overall earned $381,000. And that's 8th most of any of the entrants at the Thoroughbred Makeover. Won from distances of 6 furlongs, 3/4 of a mile to 1 3/4 miles.
Now these riders are free to pass on an obstacle after a certain point. It's up to them to judge whether or not their horse has done enough and they want to move on and just stay calm. So the judges are asking her to move on to the next obstacle. Just like we saw in some of the jumping rounds, when the horse feels a little confused, maybe has made a mistake somewhere, they start to get a little upset because they're thoroughbreds and they always want to do it right. Oh, he figured that out, didn't he? What do you think, Jonathan? I think it's more interesting to watch the ones that have done less of this, and it's their first time, and watching them learn as they go.
I think so, to see how they figure it out. And that's one of the things about thoroughbreds, is giving the thoroughbred something to do and giving them the chance to figure it out. I remember last year there was a 2-year-old in the competitive trail finals, a white horse, Bardicus, and that horse was so young and so inexperienced, but so trusting of the rider, who we'll see later, Amara Underwood, to be able to do some of these obstacles. And it's really neat. I think the horses sometimes figure it out better than people do, or at least better than me.
Very good decision by the rider there. She knew that her horse was getting upset, so rather than try to drag that log, she just walked quietly by. Her goal here is going to be to leave the arena with a happy horse.
Stephanie was part of the versatility ranch horse competition team at Colorado State University in Fort Collins, and now based here in Lexington. field hunters as well, so they've definitely put in a lot of work over the last 3 days. Real successful horse that went from being purchased for just $32,000 to earning more than 10 times that, $380,000. And the winner of one of the longest stakes races in the United States, the Las Vegas Marathon on Breeders' Cup weekend at Santa Anita in 2014. Close the door and then come out of the outhouse.
So she's reading her horse here, and she's a smart girl. She knows whether her horse is going to stand, and her horse said, no, you know what, honey? You go in there, I go out of the gate. Smart move. I don't think there's a discipline out there that wouldn't benefit some of the horses and riders from doing some of this work.
So much success on the racetrack for Carey Street, and it's great to see this horse at 8 years old, right here in Lexington with Stephanie Butler, bred by Darley and being part of the movement that Sheikh Mohammed from Darley and Godolphin has really embraced in helping many of his horses move on to new lives after racing. So following Carey Street, there are two more to go, and they are the top two in the preliminaries. (2016) with You Gotta Be Kidding Me. Part of the international contingent at this year's Thoroughbred Makeover. A junior rider from Bethany, Ontario.
And a student of Lindsay's, I understand. So she's been through the same training program. It's all of Lindsay's horses.
The Bowie Van is an Ontario bred and finished up racing in Fort Erie in Ontario, also raced in Woodbine in Toronto. Has experience running in Maryland too at Pimlico and Laurel. 22 starts and 1 win coming in the second to last race of his career. And that was a closing effort at Fort Erie in October 1 year ago. Considering that the horse was purchased for just $1,000 in 2012 as yearling ended up making $13,000 in the 2-year career.
You guys know what's going on here, right? This is the student hoping to beat the trainer. She's in second, and her trainer's in first. And the best compliment to the trainer is to get beat by the student, isn't it?
Well, coming in second into the finale, the student does have a very good chance. It'll depend on how the teacher does in the final performance in this finale. The Bowie van did Field Hunter as well.
I don't think you find many young people, teenagers, who are quite this good in this discipline, and I think part of the reason is that it takes patience, and it takes a lot of years to become very patient in most cases. And I like the way she walked up quietly to that obstacle in no hurry, letting the horse think.
Franny going into the outhouse, coming out quickly.
Now, what the horse does when he steps on his reins is a test of the training. Because a good trail horse has done that before and had ropes around, and when they feel the pressure, they stop. It's all part of the training, huh?
And let's hear it for the Bowie van. And Franny Galvin Hines, a junior rider from Bethany, Ontario. 5th in this competition last year, coming in 2nd into the finale. Has been training with Lindsay Partridge since 2011. And now will be going against Lindsay Partridge. Lindsay rode Here Comes Adri as the first competitor in competitive trail, and now with Beaudry, and Beaudry will also be in the next event as part of the freestyle. Lindsay is America's Most Wanted Thoroughbred winner the first year that the Thoroughbred Makeover was held at the Kentucky Horse Park in 2015 and won competitive trail with that 2015 America's Most Wanted Thoroughbred Soar. Competitive trail winner last year with Trivia Time. And now trying to join Isabella De Sosa from Jumpers as a 3-time winner in a discipline at the Thoroughbred Makeover at the Kentucky Horse Park. Beaudry wowed the crowd in freestyle yesterday. This horse raced more than 50 times, one of 23 horses with more than 50 starts in this Thoroughbred Makeover competition. Beaudry bred in Kentucky and raced from 2011 to 2016. Ran here in Lexington, Keeneland, also ran in West Virginia and Pennsylvania, finishing up his career last October at Mountaineer. Ran primarily in sprint races. And now has gone north of the border to Pontypool, Ontario, where Lindsay Partridge's Harmony Horsemanship is based. Lindsay comes to this competition with a great team of horses and also a great team of people who help her out, and you can see them in the turquoise Harmony Horsemanship shirts. Over the bridge, very smoothly. And so now Lindsay and Beaudry coming to the final obstacle. Throwing the reins over the hitching post and then disappearing for a moment into the outhouse.
Wow. All he needed was to know that's what she wanted. One correction, he got the message.
And let's hear it for Lindsay Partridge and Beaudry. Won this competition 2 years ago on America's Most Wanted Thoroughbred Soar, won last year on Trivia Time, and now with 2 of the 5 finalists, here comes Adri, the first horse that we saw in the arena, and Beaudry, who was in first place going into the finals.
All right, now we're going to find out who wins. Just a minute. It's going to be the teacher, the student, or a dark horse from somewhere else.
The winner to receive $5,000, as well as the Horseware Cooler, Tribute Equine Nutrition Polo Wraps, and an Equa In-Style Sun Shirt. Equa In-Style Sun Shirts also to be provided to the top amateur and the top junior.
All right, we're going to get these obstacles out. We're going to do a quick drag. And then what's coming next is the what some people say is the highlight, the freestyle. It seems like it's getting crazier and crazier as we go here. I don't know how these people train these horses to do what they do.
So all the horses are coming back into the arena, the top 10, and we'll also recognize the top junior and the top amateur.
Laura, you want to give your impression of how these horses did? Yeah, all the judges did.
And before we announce the results, one of our judges for competitive trail, Laura Winsack, will give her analysis of what we've seen. The course seems to have gotten harder over the years, and also the level of competition has really risen too.
Am I on? Okay. I'm really impressed with these riders today, and I got to be up on the trailhead for a little bit, and I love seeing all these English horses out here, and we've started to really branch out with not only the Western riding in the trail, but the English. And I feel today we had a lot more competition than last year. I think, as they've said in the other disciplines, it's really become more and more.
So let's recognize the top finishers in competitive trail. And first, we'll announce the top junior rider, and the top junior rider, whom we just saw, Franny Galvin Hines, with bridle number 192, the Bowie Van. And the top amateur rider, bridle number 151, Stephanie Butler and Carey Street. And now, the top 10. In 10th place, bridle number 210, E Shifty, ridden by Faye Hansen. 9th place, bridle number 251, Facundo and Nina Marie Lyman. 8th place, bridle number 203, Funny Bunny B and Marcella Grukalak. 7th place, Bridget Hollern aboard bridle number 220, Good to Look. 6th went to Think Global, Russell Littlefield, riding bridle number 69. In 5th place was bridle number 151, Carey Street and Stephanie Butler. 4th place, bridle number 297, Emil and Gretchen Penny. In third place, bridle number 302, here comes Adri and Lindsay Partridge. Now, was it the student or the teacher? And we'll find out soon. Second place, bridle number 303, Beaudry and Lindsay Partridge. And that means that a very happy Franny Galvin Hines is the winner of competitive trail aboard bridle number 192, the Bowie Van. And let's let them hear it as they gallop around.